Hey, 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 ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're good, hope you're well. Oh my God, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's been so long. How you doing? How are you all, chat? Are you good? Are you well? You know it's Monday. You know what that means, don't you? Come on, everybody. Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Hello, hello. How you doing? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Hey, Mohammed, I'm really good, man. How are you? Hope you're good. Hey, Heidi, how you doing? Michael, hey, Raum, Carl, Sebastian. So many of you already. Tiny, Angelica, good morning. Ronald, hello, everybody. Hello, good evening. Marvin, Tiny, hello. Fitzy, good to see you, brother. Hope you had a good weekend. Did anybody go out and see the fireworks at the weekend? Did anybody have a good 5th of November? Anyone go out and see a firework display? Annabella, how you doing? Hi, easy. Easy, easy. Hey, everybody. Aaron, everybody. Hello. Welcome back. Oh, I feel like it's been forever. We've not been here in a while, right? It's been a bit crazy. So for those of you that don't know, it was touch and go for a minute. I had the man flu. I mean, ladies, I appreciate ladies. You don't know what it's like. You don't, you have birth, we have man flu. I mean, they're both equally as painful. Ours may be worse, but yeah, I mean, it was rough. It was like 3 or 4 days, right? 3 or 4 days it just ravaged me. It just completely destroyed me. It went from like, it just attacked like different parts of my body. It went from like my stomach, it went to my chest, it went to my throat and my head. And it just kind of flew through me and then just kind of left. And now I feel great. I feel really good today. I've still got like so if I cough, I apologise. Like I've still got it on my chest. I can feel it. But overall, yeah, I'm much better now. Much better. But I am never doing payroll whilst ill again. In fact, I'm never doing payroll again. I don't have to. Calm down. It just means I've got somebody else to do it. It doesn't mean I'm not doing it. It's not going to be done. It's just we've hired somebody that's going to now do payroll. So the good news is that we don't have to worry about me spending like days and days and days to do that anymore. But yes, welcome, good morning, hello Bern, how you doing? I missed you all too. Oh God, I've missed you. I wanted to be streaming last week. It would not have been a good stream. It would not have been a good stream. So no, we're all good. So I just need to quickly log in because I know a couple of you are sending some notifications. I'm not actually seeing them. So everything kind of made me log back in today. It's one of those, hey, you've not been here for so long, we kind of gave up on you. So let me just log back into my account. Hopefully this is going to work okay straight away and I'm not going to have to mess about. All right, let me see. Is it working? Do I have? I think I do. Yep, okay, right, that's working. Let me just replace my old activity feed with the new one. Hold on, here we go. Hey, thank you so much. Meridol, thank you very much for 75 stars. Hey, Dodge, thank you very much for the 10 stars. Appreciate you. And Lyra, thank you very much for the 75 stars. Hello indeed. I know Fitz is like I've missed you all too, even though he's not been anywhere. Speaking of missing people, anyone seen Miracle? He's not banned, is he? Hey, hope you're good. Right, let's get into this today, shall we? Listen, I have until 12. All right, I have a hard stop at 12 o'clock because today it's quite a difficult day for me and Roberta today. We took our pups for a walk last week and I had my daughter over and so we went out, we had a nice walk, went through the field and our little puppy Benedict, our little boy, he started limping. We didn't know why, we didn't know what happened and I thought to myself maybe I'd over-exercised him, he'd been enjoying himself in the field. And because when puppies are quite young, you're not meant to over-exercise them. They're only meant to have a small amount of exercise. So I thought maybe that was the problem and thought we'd let him rest for a couple of days. But he didn't stop limping. His limping got worse and it got worse. And so we took him to the vets after the weekend, let him rest, took him to the vets. And the vet said, look, We don't know what's wrong. We need to do an X-ray. So they did an X-ray, and then they come back. And by the way, how expensive is an X-ray at the vets? If you've got pets or you've done it in the UK, I had to pay £850 for a consultation and an X-ray. That was crazy. So anyway, basically, we did that. And then after that, we went to the... we got told we had to go to a specialist. And so we spoke to a specialist and we got referred. And so today we're actually going up to the specialists. So we've got a group of consultants that are going to look at Benedict because apparently he's got a really bad, a lame leg, which we need to, they've said it's surgery. Like he's going to need surgery. And they've actually sort of put some, like the insurance have kicked in now. So we said, look, this is going to get really expensive. We're going to need the insurance. So now we've got the insurance to kick in. They've said it's going to cost like $9,000 at the vets. So I was like, yay, thank God for insurance, right? But at the same time, it's like I'll spend anything I need to because it's our puppy, right? So that's what we're doing today. Just thought I'd let you know, give you a quick update that today we're going to be going to the vets after the stream, seeing the consultants, and it's a bit we're a bit nervous. We just want to make sure that the puppy's all right and that everything's okay, and just hope we haven't broken him. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Penelope's fine. All he wants to do is run around and play, and it's like he can't. And it's been horrible for like 3 or 4 days now to not let him play. But that's what we're doing today. So that's why we've got an earlier stream today, just so that you know, because I need to finish earlier because I need to get on the road because we've got to drive. It's like not near. We've got to drive like about an hour away to the vets that we've got to go and see. So that's what we're doing. But apart from that, Penelope's great. Roberta, everyone else is great. I'm great now. We're great. The scholars are great. The team's great. Everything else is great. So just some challenges. We're dealing with them. It's all good. It's all good. So, all right, let's have a look at where we are and what's going on, shall we? I think the first thing we need to do is, let me just share my screen. All right, let's come and have a look. Go to Axie on Twitter. Where is official Axie Twitter? Okay, there's so much to talk about. But let's just start here, right? Let's just start here. Because look, this is old news now, right? We know it's old news. I was going to do a stream when this come out, and I decided, I'll wait. I'll give it 24 hours. I was in a community. We was looking at it. We were talking about it. We traded out of this. So I sold all my SLP. But we'll talk about it. We'll go and have a look and see what's happened. We'll go through all of this now. We'll look at, we're going to look at Katana. We're going to look at Ron. We're going to look at LP pools. Yeah, we're going to look at everything with SLP. We're going to look at what's happening. But I must have watched this video at least 100 times. At least 100 times. Let's just watch it now. Ready?
John Bajnar sent 75 stars.
Thank you, John, for the 75 stars. Look, we know, right, when they launched staking and we saw the production quality of staking, Sky Mavis are not messing about. This is like next level. It's so good. Like, it's so good. Like, this 24 seconds, everything from the graphics, the animations, the colors, the sound effects, the music, all of it together is just, it's just one more time. It's so good. So this was obviously the big debut for the Katana. So let's go and have a look, shall we? So katana.roninchain.com. It's not, I don't believe, or is it now? Let me just check, because it wasn't before. I believe Cody said it is. It's changed. So let me just double check. Because before, yeah, so the swap's still not there. We still can't use a swap. Some people have said it is available. Some people have said it's not. I still don't have it on mine. Some people do, some people don't. Maybe it depends on what site you're on and where you are as well. But we don't have the swap yet. I was expecting to be able to click this and it should bring us to this screen. But for me, it's not. You have to go to the link itself, bud. So katana.roninchain.com. But ideally, what I'd like to see, because there's still some challenges with Ronin. Ronin still needs some work done to it, and I'd like to see the Ronin, like the fundamentals of Ronin, get upgraded to stop some of these challenges. Some of the transactions that are failing, some of the things that are not going through correctly, some of the delays, and simple little things as well. Just little things that would make this a much more enjoyable experience for people that use it excessively. Mainly breeders. So I think that when the swap button comes in, it will probably maybe they're going to build it all inside, so you won't even need to come to this. So maybe what will happen is this here, this embed, I'm assuming will probably be like you'll click on swap and it will show up in here. So maybe that's what they'll do next, is that this embed will be in here, and we won't even leave the interface. But the other thing that will be really nice that I would love to have here is the ability to click on a button and expand this. So, you know, like when you're in MetaMask, for example. So if I go into MetaMask really quickly. So you know how like on here I can click on this and I can expand the view. And then I've got like my MetaMask here. Well, it's kind of like the same thing. I kind of want this expanded view on Ronin, where not the view in Explorer, but where it would be like this. So here we go. This is it, right? So the first thing we can do, for anyone that doesn't know, Ronin Chain is a DEX, and a DEX is a decentralized exchange. Now, you might know about all this already, and if you do, look, I apologize, but I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So we're going to go through and we're going to explain exactly what this is. So Katana, very interesting name. So Katana is a decentralized exchange on the Layer 2 Ronin network. So we have something similar to this in existence. It's called Immutable X. And Immutable X was created to relieve some of the pressure and some of the congestion on the Ethereum Layer 1 network. So with a Layer 1 network, Ethereum, the problem is every time you do a transaction, there's high gas fees. So to remove or reduce the gas fees, we have what are called Layer 2 solutions. These are more scalable solutions so that you can do a lot of transactions, a lot of micro transactions. And then those micro transactions are then submitted to Ethereum and to the blockchain. It just makes it a lot cheaper. And when you're doing multiple transactions like playing games, claiming SLP, you know, all of these things, they're all transactions on the blockchain. So they need to be bundled up and sent so that they're all immutable. And that's what Immutable X did. Sky Mavis looked at Immutable X originally and said, I like it, but I don't want to be reliant on a third-party solution, so we're going to build our own. And that's what they did. They said then they built Ronin. And so Ronin is Sky Mavis's own version of Immutable X. And I understand the reasons behind it. So Ronin is effectively going to be a launch pad in the future.
Michael Salvador sent 75 stars.
Hey, Michael, thank you so much. Thank you for the stars. Appreciate you all, by the way. So Ronin is going to be a launch pad where other games in the future will be able to come in as well. But like anything, to test it, to get started, you don't want to just open it up to the public. So it's just for Axie right now. So what we have is this Ronin chain, okay, which is the decentralized exchange, or as it's been labeled, Katana. So Ronin chain is the blockchain, okay, and Katana is the decentralized exchange. So right now we are on katana.roninchain.com. All right, and so Katana is a decentralized exchange. A decentralized exchange is a peer-to-peer lending network, meaning that I can send or swap any token with anybody else. So how does that work? Well, I come to katana.roninchain.com, I click on swap, and I can pick anything. I can pick my SLP within my wallet, and I can select a token, right? Let's say AXS, and I can swap my SLP for AXS. Now, let me just open up a wallet where I've got some SLP. Okay, so here we go. There's 10,000 SLP in this wallet. So I could say, do you know what? I want to send 1,000 SLP, and I want to put it in AXS. And it's going to say, okay, So this is $76 worth of SLP at the moment. That's what 1,000 SLP is worth. And I can transfer that into almost the equivalent, right? Because one AXS is 2,040 SLP at the moment. So that's what I can do. Now, the first thing I need to do, or the first thing you would need to do if this is the first time doing this in your wallet, is you would need to approve SLP. And you'd need to approve every transaction, or every token on your wallet. So I can click approve. And I need to do a free transaction. It's free at the moment. Once RON is in circulation, I'm not sure that there'll be any more free transactions. And this is something you're going to have to start to understand. We've been very blessed to not pay for transactions for a long time. But I feel like those free transactions, and I think Sky will probably do damage mitigation here when they remove the payment or the free transactions. They'll probably allow it free to claim your SLP. But it's going to be, and it already is in some cases, there's a charge to this. So what happens now is if I was to transfer my SLP to AXS, I would have to pay a fee. Also, there's going to be some slippage. So let's talk about some slippage tolerances. When I make a transfer, I'm saying that I am willing to transfer 1,000 SLP into this amount of AXS. But you can see that there's a slight difference. See, this is 75.999 and this is 75.54. So I'm losing $0.50. So where is my $0.50 going? Well, we have to look here. We have this what's called slippage. This means that in order for the transaction to go through, we're going to allow a certain amount of above or below. Like if I said 1%, all right, let's keep it easy. Let's say I was going to transfer 100 SLP. All right, so for 100 SLP, let's say I was going to allow a slippage of 1%. That means I'm allowing 1 SLP above or below. 1 SLP above or below. So when we go to 1,000, that means I'm allowing 10 SLP above or below. Meaning that I'm not going to wait for exactly 1,000 SLP. If there's a better or a worse price, maybe I'm going to spend an additional 10 SLP to get this transaction through. All right, because the transaction is a market and it requires what is called liquidity, meaning that in order to buy AXS, there has to be enough people willing to sell AXS. All right, because you can't buy something if it's not for sale. Now, we're quite lucky at the moment because so many people have absolutely aped into this that there's massive liquidity at the moment.
Jemson Viyama sent 75
hey,
stars.
Jemson, thank you very much for the 75 stars. Appreciate you. So, also we're going to have a deadline on our transaction. So, at the moment, the slippage is automatically set to 0.5. Or maybe I don't want to pay 0.5. Maybe I want to pay 0.1. So, now I've set a manual slippage of 0.1, meaning 20% of what was originally going to go out. So, I'm going to pay less. All right, so now as we can see, look, if we go back to where this was, like let's go to auto where it starts. All right, this means that I'm going to get 0.4900 for 9. Okay. Now, if I go to here and I turn this off and I go to 0.1, now I'm going to get a little bit more. Only a little bit, but a little bit more. Now, let's imagine we're going to start doing this on bigger numbers. All right. So this I'm going to get 4.9. Now let's go to 1. Let's just go back to our 1%, all right? I get 4.9. And we go to 0.1. It's not updating quick enough at the moment, but okay. Don't worry about it. But you get the idea. You get the idea of what you're going to send. So I have mine set manually to 0.1, okay? That's fine. That's all you need to do. And I can see how much I'm going to pay. So here we go. If I hover over here, liquidity provider fee. So this is what I'm going to pay as a fee for the liquidity. Okay, this is what is going to go to the people that are providing liquidity, and we'll talk about this in a minute. So I'm going to spend 59 SLP out of my 10,000. So let's go back. All right, we're going to keep the numbers simple. All right, we're going to go for 1,000 SLP. It's going to cost me 5.9 SLP. Okay, 5.9 SLP. The route that we're going to go is SLP into wrapped ether into AXS. So we're actually doing 2 transactions, not 1. We're doing 2 transactions. And then the price impact. There's 0 price impact at the moment. The minimum amount that's going to be received. And then there's that slippage tolerance that I talked about. And that's also an important thing to be able to consider. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our... SLP, transfer it into wrapped ether. That will be done automatically, and it's going to transfer it into AXS for us. Now, I could do that right now, and that's something that we can consider. But before we just go and ape into doing this, let's go and have a quick look at the markets. It's very important for you to consider what's happening in the markets before you do anything like this. And so TradingView is a good tool to be able to use for this. Okay, and we're going to come across and we're going to have a look at SLP. And let's have a look at what's happened. So we went down this crazy roller coaster where we hit rock bottom. I like to call this rock bottom, 6 cents. But as you can see, look, we kept it pretty much sideways here. We consolidated. We knew we were going to get a breakout. We talked about this a lot. So let's have a look at what happened. So we're coming along. We're here. We get to here. In fact, let's come across to the 1 hour chart. I don't think we need a daily anymore. Oh, sorry. Hold on. There we go. Let's do this. So here we are. We can see exactly what's happened. So we're coming along, 2nd of November, 3rd of November. And at this point, I was doing payday. So everyone was getting paid. So people are cashing out. And it was so difficult because we didn't know. We don't know when it's going to come. We don't know when the update is going to come. But about 4 o'clock in the morning on November the 4th, there was a tweet. And the tweet just said from Jiho, let's do this. That was it. As soon as that tweet went out, SLP started to pump. And they went live. And as we can see, at 5 o'clock in the morning, we had a massive, massive pump. To give you some context, the pump in total was 100%. We had 100% rise or pump within
5 stars. Hashtag people before profits.
Absolutely, Mark. Thank you so much. Hashtag people before profits indeed. So within 12 hours, we went up 100%. So what happened? Well, obviously we were doing payroll. So at the end of payroll, by the time we finished it, which was around the 3rd to the 4th, I had to make a decision. Now, this is what I saw. I'm going to show you what I saw right now. I saw we have these bars and we burst through this bar straight away. This bar, we just burst through it. We weren't even messing about. We just burst through it. We went up, straight up, and we burst through the second bar. Now, this to me is orange. And the reason that this bar is orange is because I believe that this is the top of the bottom. Okay, just bear with me a second. Let me just scroll out very quickly so you can see these colors that I've created. If you look at these graphs, you'll see that we have the red at the bottom, yeah, and the green at the top. So this is the top, and this is the bottom of the top. So the top of the top and the bottom of the top, okay, which is this orange line here. We've then got the bottom of the bottom and the top of the bottom. And so these orange lines here, these indicators, this is the bottom of the top and this is the top of the bottom. I hope that makes sense. And then this grey area is kind of where I expect us to bounce between. I think we're going to be bouncing somewhere between 10 and 20 cents. And if we go above, great. And if we go below, ugh. But I like to think this is the range that we're going to play in. So I think we're going to, eventually we're going to push out of this. I'd like to see that. I think we're going to push out of this. Now what's interesting is look what's happened. We haven't actually, we need an update to breeding. That's what we need. They need to remove AXS from breeding because at the moment, people are still not breeding enough. We need some sort of an event because right now, SLP right now, it's consistent, which is nice, but I'd like to see it up a little bit. Right now, they do not have the breeding. They do not have the breeding right. It's just not right. And so I think once they fix that and they sort the breeding out, which they'll have to do at some point, I was hoping for a Halloween event. Maybe we'll get a Christmas event for breeding. We'll wait and see. But what we can see has happened right now is we have no real uptick anymore. And we need it. We need an uptick. We need to be going upwards right now. We had a pump and then it settled nicely, but that's it. It's settled. The problem is, if we remove the liquidity and people start selling their SLP, it's going to dump. And we can't really afford another dump. So we need to have some upward momentum now. And I really, really hoped that we would have seen some upward momentum. We haven't seen it yet. So the DEX has not fixed SLP. It's not. It might have stopped the bleeding, but then to be fair, we were already going sideways. So we're still just going sideways. And in fact, we're starting to taper off a little bit now. You can see this. So I'm not convinced that SLP is out of the woods just yet. SLP is still hurting very bad at the moment. And it could be that all of this that we saw before is never going to happen again. And this is us. And this is where we live. And we just need to accept that 6 to 8 cents is our range. Maybe. I don't know. But this is what happened anyway. We broke out of this first. We then broke out of this the top of the bottom. Okay, so you understand why this is orange now. I've explained it. So we broke out. Now, as soon as we broke out of this, I was expecting a pullback. Remember what Siam said. You'll always expect a 50% pullback. So a 50% pullback here is going to be somewhere around this range, this middle line here. And look exactly what happened. It went up, it pulled back 50%. We knew it was coming. So what I did is I was looking at this point and I was like getting ready and I was like, do I sell it at 11? And I was like, okay, when do I sell it? When do I sell it? When do I sell it? And it was going up and it was going up. And I was like, okay, if it comes back down, I'm going to sell it. If it comes back down, I'm going to sell it. As soon as it crossed this line, as soon as it went past that 13 line, I sold. And I caught it as it was on its way back down. And I sold for 13 points. I think it was like 13.07 or something. But I tried to sell at 13.14. This was the line where I tried to catch it. And I think I called it around there somewhere. Oh, that was right. I tried to sell at 13.4. Sorry, at 0.134. I tried to sell here, but I actually got out here. And I sold everything. I sold all my SLP. I put it in the Discord. I told everybody. I said, I'm getting out. I said, I'm selling. I sold everything. A few people come with me. And then we come back down. And then this is what I knew was going to happen. I knew that this 50% correction, because look, when you see this, a 50% correction is about here. Okay, when that crashes back down, I know that we are then looking at a trend line. So as soon as it sort of come to here, I drew in this trend line. Okay, I drew these 2 points and I saw it coming down and then I saw us climbing up. Now, what I really, really wanted to happen at this point, what I was waiting for, was for SLP to continue up. That's what I wanted. But I also knew from a fundamental point of view, so many people were looking and waiting to sell their SLP. So as soon as people dumped here, a short recovery and people were like, no, dump. Because they want to sell their SLP and then it recovers and it dumps. So people are just forcing the price back down. Because so many people like me are holding on to your SLP waiting to sell it. So we had to sell. Now I took a loss on that. I lost about $4,000 because if you remember back, I bought a load of SLP at like 14 cents. Do you remember? And I bought a load more SLP at like 12 cents or whatever it was. And so I actually lost about $4,000 in total. I don't care. I'm happy to lose that because I can offset that against profits for tax relief. So that's not a problem on the exchange. But to me, it was just going to be more viable to use the SLP. So I considered that to be the best point. I sold my SLP. And I converted half of my SLP into Ether. And I actually, what did I do with the rest of the SLP? Oh, the rest of the SLP I converted into a different crypto asset. I actually converted it into time for those of you who are interested. And so what I then did is I watched this dump down back to this line. And it's kind of sat on this line. And look, it's hovering. So right now it's kind of hovering above, under, but it's smothering this line. So what happens? Remember the stone. Remember what happens when you throw a stone. When you throw a stone, yeah, the first thing that happens is it hits and then it bounces, bounces, bounces before it drops down. Look what's happening to this line. Smothered, 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 drop down. Okay, I'm expecting now a drop back down to the 6. I'm fully expecting that. Now, what might happen, now we've had a few days, is it might start to pick up and it might bounce again. But I'm expecting the worst. And actually, at the moment, it doesn't bother me because I don't have any SLP. So I don't care if it goes to 6 or 11. It doesn't bother me. What I care about, what I really care about, is by the 15th, which is here, on this date, I want to see it back up to the 11. So even if it bounces down to the 6, I don't care what it does. It can stay here. As long as by next payday, it's done this. This is what I want. I want to see back up to 11 cents by the 15th. So when we do next payday, it's up here. We'll have to wait and see. We don't know. We'll wait and see. But that's something that we've got to consider is what's going to happen. So let's go back, all right? We know where SLP is at the moment. We know what's happened. We're waiting right now. We're just waiting. So what do you do with your SLP? Well, you've got options, right? But the first thing you need to do is, should you convert your SLP into AXS? Should it? Is it worth converting SLP into AXS? Well, to answer that question, before you just do it blindly, because remember, we're trying to learn here. This is not about just doing something without thinking about it. Just because it's like, oh, it's just obvious and easy, or everyone else is doing it. No. Let's look at what's going on. If the price of SLP is down and the price of AXS is up, then for you to convert your low SLP to a high AXS means you're going to get less. That is not actually a good decision to make because you're going to get less of the token. If you're going to sell your SLP, you want to sell it high. And if you're going to buy AXS, you want to buy it low. Is SLP low right? AXS low right now? No. It's been pumping. It's at 154. So when you consider where it was, let's go back to the 4th of November. It was at $135. So right now it's 13% up. Okay, so you're 13% up, and it had pumps up to that 20%. In fact, it did. It hit all-time highs. It went to $166. But right now, from the 4th, we can see that AXS is up 13%. And SLP, we can see, is up also about 13%. So you need to understand and you need to consider, is it worth swapping SLP for AXS? Maybe. It's about the same. It's gone up equal amounts, right? Is SLP likely to go up before AXS? Because if SLP goes up to 11 cents and AXS doesn't really move, because look at what's happened here. We had this trend line. Well, look, AXS has dumped. Just recently, look, it's dumped down. So it's come back down. So now it's just broken this. So what normally happens? And again, we've talked about this before. You've got to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. The trend is your friend until the bend at the end. This right here is considered a bend at the end. See the trend line? See what's happened? We've broken down past it. So we're kind of holding this trend line, and we've broken down past it. Now, this may be that I need to reevaluate this trend line. And we can do that right now. So let's go to the daily. All right, let's look at the daily chart. And let's open this up and let's see what we're looking at. So before I drew this trend line, because this was an accurate trend line. But because we've had more candles printed, now I think it's time that we can look to rediscover this. And maybe this isn't accurate. Maybe that's not the best point to go from. Maybe I should be going from here. Maybe this isn't the best point to go from. Maybe I need to go from here. Maybe this is more accurate. Because if you look and you see, we was doing this, but then we've moved to this. Or maybe this. You know, we've got to kind of consider what's going to be more accurate. Maybe this one wasn't a good example because it was a one-off. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points now on this trend line. Thereabouts. So now we've got these 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 points. Maybe this is a more accurate trend line. Okay, so we need to now understand that we're in an uptrend right now. How do we know it's an uptrend? We've talked about this before. You have to look at the candle and you have to look at the highest point and the lowest point. So here, the lowest point, all right? Then we look for a lower point. Is there anything lower than that? No. Okay, so there's a lower point. Then we go up to here, and then we go up. Okay, we can look at around here, and then there's nothing lower, so we go up to here, and then to here, and then to here. So when we look, okay, and now because we're doing this, I can kind of delete that one because we don't need it. Delete that one. So we've got this, to this, to this, to this, to this. What does it mean? Well, these are the lower parts. Now, are they higher lows or lower lows? Well, right now, these are higher lows. So the lowest part of each candle is getting higher. That means we are in an uptrend. All right, now let's look at these. Here, here, all right? This is a higher high. But now what's happened? Have we gone up again? Yes, we have, ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. So from there to there to there. Can you see what's happening here? Let's have a look. Let's draw this from here to there to this one. All right, so this one didn't. So look, there to there. We only just made it there. Only just made it ever so slightly. But look, we're now in this range. So what is this? This is what is known as an upward compression. So look, we're getting compressed. We're going from a large point to a smaller point. You see that? So this is now called an upward compression. So let's just go over to Google and type in upward compression. Trading. Because I just want to I want to try and find. I can show you one of these. All right, there we go. Look, this is the easy one. The ascending triangle. Okay, we'll use that as an example. So what's happening here? Well, we were trending upwards. We've now gone into this compression phase. And what normally happens in an ascending triangle? What normally happens? If it's an ascending triangle, what normally happens is at the end, it pumps to the upside. All right, and if we're in a descending triangle, it normally pumps to the downside. So, what are we doing right now?
Marie Santiago sent 75 stars.
Hey.
Hope all is well, UN fam.
Everything's great with the UN fam. Hey, Laka, thank you very much. So look, we're in an uptrend, okay? We've now gone into this rising compression. So what are we expecting? We enter, we compress. I'm expecting in the next week, I'm expecting AXS to pump to $200. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm expecting to see. I am expecting to see somewhere in the region of $200. Now, I might be wrong. I might be. But that's what I'm expecting. So, if we know that AXS is going to pump, SLP could probably go with it. But we need to understand, what do? Do we sell our SLP now and wait for the pump? Do we hold our SLP? What is more likely to double? What is more like? And look, there's no right or wrong answer in this. There is no right or wrong answer. All right. And however you draw your lines, however you want to look at them. And again, there is no right or wrong answer. But what you need to understand is when you're going to draw your trend line, the more points that a trend line goes through, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the stronger it becomes. This is a strong line here. And this is also quite a strong line here. So now we get an idea of what we're looking at. So where's that crossover point? There we go. So we're looking at something before the end of November. So my guess, my opinion right now is that we are going to see a pump in AXS before the end of November. That is my guess, my prediction. I believe we're going to see a pump in AXS before the end of November. Now, why do I believe that? One, because the technicals are showing me that. But why else? Think about the fundamentals. Axie and Sky Mavis have smashed records all over the place. Look at how many people come in. They've got DEX, they've got Ronin launching this week. There is so much stuff coming out at the moment. All of the newspapers are going to be hyping up and bigging up, and it's going to be Axie's amazing, Axie in the news, Axie's done this, Axie's done that. Everyone's going to be talking about Axie. What happens when people talk about Axie? People start buying, pumping in, right? So we're going to see a lot more money. Also, I believe we just hit, and I might be wrong here, but I believe we just hit, what's the market cap? I think it was total free. Okay, I don't know what it is. Hold on, let me find it. I'm just going to go across to CoinMarketCap. So on CoinMarketCap, $2.8 trillion. $2.8 trillion in the market cap in crypto right now. I believe that we're about to see, look at this. Let me just like zoom into this part here. Look at that. We've just hit all-time high in terms of a market cap for crypto. Everything's pumping into crypto at the moment. Crypto. It's Moonvember or whatever you want to call it. You know, we're in November right now. This is like the bulls. Oh, this is like the pinnacle and the peak of the bull season. So everything's pumping in right now. When people are pumping into crypto, what are they looking at? Projects in the news. What's in the news? Axie. I'm expecting a pump. Everything is looking towards a pump towards Axie, AXS. So yeah, when you consider that SLP right now isn't really doing very much, it's kind of going sideways, if not down. Is anything going to change it? Possibly not. Is it a good time to transfer? Yeah. I don't think it's a bad time to transfer your SLP into AXS. I don't think it is. Is AXS the best token? Maybe, maybe not. You have to look at what else is happening. Form right now. We've talked about Form a lot. Look, it's had a dump off. We know that today Form is launching its stablecoin swap. It launches today. So I'm very much expecting bullish news in Form today. At 16 cents, yeah, absolutely right. I'm buying more today. You're absolutely right. Look at it. It's sitting on that support line. It dropped down a little bit. It's here right now. I think this is a fantastic buying opportunity for Form. So what do I rather have? Do I want AXS or do I want Form? Well, I know Form's launching today, so it might be better to put your SLP into Binance, swap it into BUSD, and put it into Form. It might be a better option to do that with your SLP than to put it into AXS. I'm just saying, maybe do 50-50. But have options. Don't just blindly follow people. Understand what you're doing and understand why you're doing it. Right? We're looking at wealth generation and we're talking about efficiency. You want to efficiently, you want to be as efficient as possible when you're raising money. Okay, so do you put it into a pool that's going to raise you $1 a day, or do you put it in a pool that's going to raise you $10 a day? You know, you want to get as much as you can. So maybe Form, maybe AXS, who knows? But just look into it and make your decisions. You know, do what's right for you. So let's go back. Let's go back and let's have a look. So, right. Is this a good choice? It's not a bad choice. You need to consider. So now we know how to swap and what swapping means. Let's have a look at the pools. Okay, because I want you to understand about liquidity. So the reason that so many poo coins or shit coins, whatever you want to call them, the reason that they don't, or the reason they do work, they don't work for you, but the reason they work for what's happening is people buy into the coin. They buy into the coin, but if there's no liquidity, so what does liquidity mean? Well, in order for you to buy something, somebody needs to be selling something. You can't buy something if it's not for sale. Okay, and when you have two coins, they need to both be for sale. If you're buying a coin, that coin needs to be for sale. So when somebody creates a token, that they want to sell that token, so the developer is selling that token. They are the seller. You are buying it from the developer. But if nobody is then selling what you've bought, other than the developer, and the developer's not buying it back, so then you go to sell, right? So you've bought it because the developer's selling, but there's only one seller. Now you want to sell it. Well, for you to sell that token, somebody else needs to want to buy it. And if the only person buying it is the developer and they don't want to buy it, there is zero liquidity. There is no one to buy. If there is no one to buy, you cannot sell. So you buy a coin and then you cannot sell it. This is what is known as a rug pull. It is what is known as a shitcoin, because you buy into it because there's hype and promise, but there's no liquidity. And if there's no liquidity, you find out very quickly that you can't sell. And this happens not so much with smaller coins, like if you're dealing with like $5, $10, but when you start trying to move $100,000 or $1 million, you start having liquidity problems. You have to start doing it in smaller batches. You have to start using multiple networks. Squidcoin's a perfect example. There was only one winner, the developer, because there was no liquidity. Everyone bought in, the price went mental, no one could sell. Even if you wanted to, I'm going to sell my coin now, I've made $1 million. Who are you going to sell it to? No one's buying it, apart from the developer. So it's like, yeah, you got to understand. It's about trying to sell your coin as well, right? If you've got one seller that's flooding the marketplace and you're buying it from them, that's fine. If you're then trying to sell that coin, you need other buyers, all right? And that's where the marketplace comes from. So we need to have a look at the analytics and see what's happened. So let's go to the analytics first. And let's have a look and see here. So let's look, liquidity right now. All right, this is the overall liquidity. There is $1.1 billion of liquidity in the Ronin network right now. All right, we can see this. So let's have a look. So right now, $4.7 million of liquidity in the US dollar coin. This is for the US dollar swap, right? $200 million of liquidity in SLP. $368 million of liquidity in AXS, and $587 million of liquidity in wrapped Ether. So what do we mean by liquidity? Well, let's go back. Let's take a step backwards and let's look at this. We can add liquidity. What does that mean? Well, to add liquidity, you need to have an equal amount of 2 coins. So I would need to choose my tokens. So maybe I'm going to put in some Ether, and then what else do I want to put in? So maybe I'm going to put in some SLP. So let's do 1,000 SLP. So at the moment, for the US dollar value, Fitzy, can we get on top of that? Thanks, mate. To basically be able to sort out liquidity, what you need to do is you need to put an equal amount of dollar value of 2 coins at that moment. So for me, 1,000 SLP, okay, is equal to 0.0161196 wrapped Ether. So I would need to put in that amount of wrapped Ether to get the liquidity. All right, so what that means then is I have an equal amount on both sides. So let's say I wanted to do $100. Okay, so I would work out, well, what is $100? So I could go to the swap. That's probably going to be the easiest way to do it. And I could type in here. All right, so I know it's about 1,300 and I don't know, about what, 5? 6. There you go. About 1,306, thereabouts. It's never going to be perfect, but it gives you an idea. So now I come to the pool, add liquidity. Okay, and I'm going to choose SLP, and I'm going to put in 1,306. And I want to put in wrapped Ether as an example. I need to put in 0.02 wrapped Ether. If I was going to do AXS, I'd need to put in... All right, that's not showing up for some reason. All right, well, don't worry. Maybe it's just a little bug in there at the moment. But there we go, 0.02 wrapped Ether. And I was assuming if I would do this... maybe not. Oh, no, because there's not, is there? There's not an SLP to AXS. Is there an No, there's not an SLP to AXS pool right now, is there? So it's an Ether to AXS pool. So if I want to put in 1 Ether, I'd need to put in 30 AXS. Hopefully that makes sense, right? Now, what happens when you do this? Well, let's say I wanted to put in $100 of SLP. I would also have to match it with $100 of wrapped Ether. Then what happens is that sits in what is called liquidity. Okay? I can then come across, once it's there, because you don't just want to leave it there, you want to come across to the farm. Because what happens with liquidity is if somebody wants to buy or sell something and the price changes, in order to give a fair liquidity price, you may end up losing some of your token. So let's say the price of Ether goes up, then you may end up losing some of your Ether. Your Ether will be swapped to SLP for liquidity to balance the pool. And with that happening, what happens is you lose some of your token. Now, if you're in something like AXS and wrapped Ether, it doesn't really matter too much, because if you think they're both going up, then losing one for the other doesn't matter too much. Because if you lose some Ether, you're gaining some AXS. And if you think AXS is going up, then that's okay. But if you've got the SLP to wrapped Ether, and SLP is going down, and Ether's going up, and you're losing Ether and gaining SLP, you know, that might not be a good pool to be in. So you have to start considering, and you have to start asking yourself, what are you going to farm? Because right now you've got an option of 2 farms. You could put it into here, or you could put it into here. And so you need to understand this. You need to go and you need to see the pair info. You need to understand provide liquidity, go through the documents, come to the documents, have a look and read and understand everything there is to understand about pooling and about farming. Okay, because you need to know what this is. So look, it says here, a liquidity pool is a pool of funds locked in a smart contract. Any user called liquidity provider can add funds into the pool to ensure that traders get better prices when swapping. So when people swap, they will pay the fees, right? You will pay fees in swapping, and the fees will go to liquidity providers, meaning that you'll get paid for providing liquidity. Now, because of what is called impairment loss, and I'm not going to go into it in too much detail right now, but you need to understand this. You need to understand that you could lose your token and how that works. And they talk about it in here. I'm sure if I scroll down, they'll talk about it. I'm sure they will. There'll be some information on here where they talk about liquidity and about IP loss, because you need to understand it. And then you can look at the farm. So then you can farm, and if you're farming, let me see, it says about unstaking. Okay, I think I haven't seen anything on there. I mean, there should be something on here about it. They should talk about IP loss. I'm just going to see. I can't see it at the moment. I don't know if I've missed it. I think they have a duty of care to mention it. Unless I've missed it. Here we go. No, look, see. Are you guaranteed to always be profitable? No, not always. There is a phenomenon called impermanent loss. Okay? Impermanent loss, and this article explains how it works. You can go here and you can learn about impermanent loss, and you need to know that. Now, impermanent loss isn't a problem, right? You may show up that you've lost some money, but impermanent loss means as long as you're playing the long game, if the price is like the price that you get in for your liquidity is where you are. Okay, so the loss only occurs if you fall outside of a range. You have like a buffer of a range of price. If you go too high, so let's say Ether gets too high or too low in value, or SLP gets too high or too low in value, then you will have this loss. Okay, but as long as you do not cash out or sell, it will not be realized. So it's called impermanent loss. If you were to remove your liquidity whilst you have impermanent loss, it will then be permanent loss, i.e. you will not get it back. So impermanent loss means it's a temporary loss whilst the prices are different. And if the prices come back, then it will be removed and you'll go back to normal. But if you cash out whilst you are in impermanent loss, it then becomes permanent loss and you lose it forever. So you need to understand that. You need to understand that. And again, I highly recommend taking the time, going through the docs and reading this. You need to understand it. Okay, so let's get back to where it was. We can see there's liquidity, all right? we can come across to the farm and we can choose, okay, we've added in our pool, we've added our liquidity, now we can farm. So let's go and have a look at our main contract, because I'm in a different contract here. All right, here we go. So I have provided liquidity. I went into here, I added liquidity, I added my wrapped ether and my SLP, and I put it into here. And right now it tells you what I've got and what my rewards are. Now I can't claim anything at the moment, but it's saying that I've got 30 wrapped Ronin in my SLP wrapped ether pool. And I've put in about 6,000, I would say at the moment about $6,000. So what I can do here is I can take my address or my contact address. I can come to the analytics. So let me just close everything down. All right. I've got this in here. I can come to analytics. And on the left-hand side, I can come down to accounts. In the bar at the top, I can paste in my Ronin address and I can load my account detail. And what this is now going to tell me is what I've earned, fees earned, $12, and how much liquidity have I provided. So my $6,000 of liquidity has provided me with $12 of fees. And that's because I think everyone had already jumped in at this point. Now, when everyone does their next payday and people start swapping SLP for wrapped ether, I'll see this pump up again. I'm not worried about it at the moment. Wait and see what happens at the end of the month. Some people do their paydays on the 15th. Some people do their paydays at the end of the month. So let's wait and see what happens. I think there'll be a lot more volume on this around the 15th and at the end of the month. And that's what I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to leave this here. I'm not going to touch it. It's going to stay in there now until the end of the month. So what happened? Let me see. I put into this pool. So ignore this first one because this was a swap. This was simply, I swapped 12,000 SLP for 2.95 wrapped ether. And I did that because I wanted to buy more Axie. We bought more teams. So I swapped 100,000 SLP for 2.95 ether. And then I went and I purchased more teams. And look, I paid. I had to pay the fee for doing this, look. So in terms of the swap, there was 12,933. I paid $36 in fees. That's what I did. I paid $36 in fees to transfer that. And those fees went to people who were providing liquidity. And they would have got that in a bonus in terms of a RON token. So now you know, now you start to understand how this works, right? So I provided 0.72 ether, right? 0.72 ether. Now look at what I currently have. I've got 0.64 ether. I have actually lost right now 0.08 ether. So let's type that in. Let's go to CoinMarketCap. Let's look at Ethereum. And let's see what that is. What is that current value or price? 0.08 ether. That's $378. So right now, simply by having this in the staking pool, right now, I have lost $378 of ether. If I was to remove this right now, this is what is impermanent loss. Okay, look at how much I deposited and look at how much I currently have. This is impermanent loss. I have an impermanent loss right now of 0.08 wrapped ether. If I click remove, all right, and I do this, if I remove this, and I'm not going to, but if I remove this,
Julie Marie Dogger sent 35 stars.
That's interesting. If I try to remove this, oh, hold on. What? It's saying I've got no balance to remove. What? Maybe this just isn't working yet. I don't know. Or maybe it's me and I'm being stupid. But Yeah, no, that's not right. I should have liquidity here that I can remove. I'm assuming right now that that's just a bug and it's just not letting me remove it. And I'm not bothered because I know it's new and I know they're fixing it. But normally what would happen is this should show your balance and you should be able to remove it and get back. But I would get back less than what I put in. See, this is the thing. See, I can add liquidity, but it's not helping me to remove liquidity. I think they're still working on that. So that's the other thing you need to know, that if you're going to do this at the moment, you might not be able to remove it just yet because it's not working. But that's what I would normally do. So yeah, I would actually be losing at the moment. So let's go back to this and understand that I'm currently losing this. But I put in 35,000 SLP and I've now got 39,000 SLP. So I'm actually up 4,500 SLP. All right, 4,500 SLP. So let's go back and have a look at this. So if I was to type in SLP, so look, remember the 378, right? Go to SLP. What did I say? 4,500 thereabouts. $343. That's what it's worth at the moment. So even though I've lost, I don't remember what I said. What did I say I'd lost? Can you remember? 400 and something? I should have written it down. But even though I've lost some ether, I've made some SLP. There is a slight difference between the two. And you need to just understand how that works. Okay, so it's not a problem as long as you understand that there's a balance. If you understand that there's a balance between the two and you're happy to hold either or, this is why so many people right now are sitting in Ether AXS, because they don't care. Ether goes up, AXS goes down. AXS goes up, Ether goes down. They don't care which one they hold. They're both going to the moon. So you need to understand. You need to understand how this works. All right? Now, I don't care because I'm not planning on removing that right now. In fact, I'll be adding to it, and I'll also be adding because I believe that the other pool that's important is going to be the Ether AXS pool. And I want to collect RON tokens at the moment. So I'm happy to do that. But you just need to understand, that's all. You just need to understand how this works. I mean, it's a game after all, right? And that's all we're doing. We're just playing a game. So there we go. What you could try and do if you want to be really smart is play this so that the liquidity provides you with SLP when SLP's high, so you can sell it. And then you get back into it when it's low, when SLP is at a low price, and you can play the markets with the liquidity pools. You can be very clever with stuff like this. I'm not going to go into that. That's not the purpose of this. But I want you to understand that, you know, as well as that, the money that you've lost through the liquidity, you should have made up plus some in the tokens that you're making. Now, if we go and look at a mutable X at the moment is trading at about $5. So let's just assume that the Ronin token is going to trade at about $5. Right, let's just assume for the moment, Ronin price $5. So how much have I got? All right. Well, let's type it in again. Let's have a look. I've currently got somewhere in the region of, I can't remember where it was, where I saw it, 30 RON. All right, so let's imagine 30 RON at $5. That's $150. So it just gives you some context and some ideas, all right? So even though I've probably lost about $30 or $40, I've actually made like $120. So you got to understand this. It's a bit complicated to get your head into, but once you understand it, you know what it means. Well, what else does it mean? Well, when you lock up SLP in liquidity, you're effectively taking it off the market. When you take it off the market, less of it's available, and so it becomes more scarce, and the price goes up. And so you have to see there's a whole ecosystem around this. And when you start playing with the analytics and you start looking into this, then you start to realize. Possibly, Jonard, possibly. But be careful. Trading SLP is a very difficult game because SLP is not a governance token. SLP is not going to the moon. SLP is not designed really to be traded. It's designed as a utility token. And until they get the minting and the burning process right, which they don't have right now, it's not favorable right now. And they know that. They know that. They'll fix it. But yeah, we need to have a look and see what's happening. So You get an idea of volume since launch. I mean, it's crazy right now. It really is crazy how it's going. But it's going well. It's doing well. So yeah, that's it. That's what we're currently experiencing. So what's happening now? Well, we know that this week or next week, the RON token is going to officially become live. We can start expecting to pay fees on the Ronin network. Hopefully, we'll be able to start withdrawing liquidity as well, because at the moment, everyone's liquidity is kind of locked. And yeah, we'll start seeing some stuff stable. We can't really do much else at the moment. We can't really do much else. It's a waiting game now. We just need to wait. So here's a problem that I had, which was a funny problem that I had. If we look at Ether at the moment, so let's just pop over to Ether. Ether's kind of doing its thing, smashing all-time highs. It's having a great old time at the moment. Ether is pumping. It's at $4,700. Ether's going to the moon. In fact, look, that's the moon. There's some little craters on there. It's the moon. So Ether is on its way to the moon. This is a rocket ship. There we go. That's Ether. It's on its way to the moon. Off we go. I didn't do art in school, in case you can't tell. So what does that mean? Well, what it means right now is that any sponsors that are coming on board that are paying for sponsorships, the transaction between Ether and Fiat isn't very good. Also, if I click purchase, there's none available. We've literally bought Ramp out of everything. Like there's no Ether left on the Ramp network. We've bought it all. There's nothing. Not just us, everyone. There's no Ether. Look. I can't even buy $100 worth of Ether right now. It's not available. They've literally run out. So we're waiting, because as of today, I mean, I've got 4 sponsors waiting to put money in. But I can't do it. I can't even get the money in that I need to. And also, remember before. So before, when people were putting £1,000, they were getting about 0.35 Ether. Now, £1,000 gets you 0.28 Ether. 0.28 Ether. So let's look at the price of a team right now. So we go and look at the price of a team. We're looking at about, ignore this one because this one's not real. You can't buy it. It's a bug. So 0.7, is that available for buy? Oh, let's have a look. Let's do a refresh. Nope, that's not. Is this one? Okay, so this one is. So 0.78. Let's just say 0.8. All right, so we'll have a look on here. We've got 0.8. Then what do we want to do? Let's have a look at a mid lane. So again, ignore that one. That one's not real. These two probably are. We're just going to go for this one. We're going to say 0.9. Yep, so about 0.9. Let's look at the other mid lane. 0.84. All right, I think we can get away with 0.85 at the moment. So 0.85. All right, for the mid lane. Now let's look at the back lane. So 0.9. 0.93. I think we're looking at about... See if that one's real. I don't think this one's real. Oh, this one is real. Hold on, have I got any money in here? Yoink. I'll have that. Thank you very much. If I see them cheap enough, I'll buy them. That one's not a bad price, 0.83. But that 0.8 was lovely. In fact, yeah, I will have that one as well. Hold on. Ah, what do you mean I've got no money? No, don't do this to me. All right, well, we'll get that one later. So now what we need to consider is, well, what's happening? What are we doing? Like, where are we? Now, I could transfer some SLP into Ether to buy some of this, but the problem with me doing that is SLP price is low, Ether price is high. It's not a good transfer. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait. But it would be easy now with this. It would be very easy for me So let's come back to Tana.Ronin train. Okay. So here, what I might do is I might say, let's do it on the other account. So I might say, right, I've got my SLP. I want to get some wrapped ether. Max it out. Get this. Swap it. And then I can get that other. In fact, do you know what? Might actually do it just because. How much was that? 0.83. How much did I have? Right, hold on. 0.083. And I've got. Alright, so I need 0.022. 0.022, right? Alright, so let's do this then. So let's go back to here, because I'll show you this working now. So I need that much, alright, which is 1,373. Alright, and we're going to have to pay fees as well. So let's just go back to here and let's do, I'm going to send. In fact, hold on. I need to copy my address, go back to here, and I'm going to send to myself SLP. I'm going to do 1,500 SLP. All right, just to make sure I cover everything. It's kind of like a loan. So for those of you that are curious why I'm doing this, is because this is my personal sponsor wallet. So everyone that I'm sponsoring, I get my sponsor money back from, and it's a separate wallet to the Axie Scholar UK wallet because I keep the business. That's the 25% management fee that goes into Axie Scholar UK, whereas this is a 25% sponsor fee for the ones that I've personally sponsored. So now I'm going to go into my Axie Scholar UK. We've got this here. I want that amount, so I can swap that. So that's going to cost me that amount. All right, let me just check that. All right, so then I can do the swap. Price impact, slippage, is that okay? From price sent. Confirm swap. Okay, we're going to confirm the swap. It's not a good rate, it's not a good deal, but we're going to do it anyway. You watch, someone's going to have sniped that and taken it. Okay, that transaction's been done. Let's have a look in here and see. Yep, it's in there already. That's good. Let's go back and buy this. There we go. That's it. That's now you've just seen it live. So now you can see exactly how you transfer. So now you're going to be able to use your SLP to go and buy your own Axie. And you don't have to go to Binance or anywhere else. You don't have to cash out. You don't have to swap it around anymore. You can just grind and grind and grind, buy your own Axie, and then, you know, rent them out to people. The only thing that I would say to you is to be careful, is because you have to be careful of being seen as multi-accounting. So if you are going to have if you're going to be a scholar and a manager, which you can do, by the way, you have to make sure that if we are paying your SLP, the wallet that the SLP goes into, you only get your Scholar SLP in there. Don't start getting other SLP, because Sky Mavis look for that. That's one of the things they look for. Hold on, they have multiple SLP payments coming in, and that could be a sign of multi-accounting. So just make sure that your account that we pay into, nothing else goes into there. It's really simple. Just go up to Ronin at the top here, click on your picture, and then just click create account. And just create a new account. Look, that's what I've done here, look. Whenever I sell Axie, I sell them in that account, my personal wallet. Anything else I've got. You know, I've got reinvestment. So, yeah, stuff here. Loads of stuff, right? Temporary wallets, stuff that I build. Just, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that. But yeah, there we go. So I should now have 2 Axie, hopefully. I do. I have 2 Axie. And I'm just going to hold them. I'm just going to hold them. I'm not going to do anything with them. I'm just going to hold them. And whenever I see a cheap Axie come up, I'm going to buy it. What's wrong with the mic? My mic's gone weird. Okay. Hello? Hello? How's that? Is that working? Is my mic better now? Okay, hold on. How's that? Does that sound any better? How's that? There's no sound effect. Okay, one sec. All right, hold on, guys. Don't know if it's working or not. Hello, hello. Is it working? Can you hear me? Are we back? Can you hear me? Hello. How's that? Is that working? We're back in the room? Hopefully that works. All right. Tech. I don't understand it sometimes. Maybe I should buy a decent PC. Maybe what I've got is just not good enough, right? Anyway, let's get back to where it was. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. OBS just crashed as well. So all good fun. All good fun. Alrighty. Let me just see what's going on. All right, I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, cool. So if I come back to where we was, there we go. We should be good. So sorry about that. I apologize. So yeah, so now you can see, right? You can see what you need to do now in terms of how to get Axie and how to swap into other tokens. I will try and advise you as best I can within the Discord group to keep on top of things. I don't know what's best. You know, I'm figuring this stuff out as I go as well. I'm not an expert. I mean, I do well, but I don't want people to rely on me. I want you to rely on yourself. I want you to educate yourself because it's difficult to know. It's difficult to know what to do and how to do it. But with that being said, hopefully that explains everything you need to know right now about Katana, about the Ronin network and what's happening. We're waiting for Ron to go live. I personally think that in the future, once Ron is established, I think that we will go to, let's just say, for example, we will go to the marketplace and this will no longer appear here. This will no longer be the Ether price. I think this will become the Ron price. And I think that our Axies will be pegged to the Ron or to the Ron coin or Ronin rather than Ether, so that we are not tied to the Ether network. Because I think that as Ether gets more expensive, it's going to become very difficult to be able to price these Axie accordingly. And so I think that Ron are the future of Axie prices. That's what I'm expecting. And then I think what will happen is we'll come here and we'll start to see all of this will be replaced with Ron. And we'll start to go, oh look, that Axie's 50 Ron. That's not a bad price. Or whatever it will be. So let's have a look and see how these scholars are doing, shall we? Let's have a quick catch up. Now, I'm waiting for an updated file. Hopefully, I'll get that today. We'll see. If not, if I don't get it today, I'll sort it out. So we'll have it for tomorrow. But unfortunately, I don't have it to show you now. We have 130 something. I need to actually let me check the Discord because I don't even know. Let me have a very quick check in the Discord. We currently have. Can't even tell in the Discord anymore. Hold on. I'll soon tell you. Is it 134? Already sent it. It's in Grand Council. Okay, hold on. Let me have a check. Don't believe you have, unless. Ah, you sent it this morning. Understood. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I don't know why I didn't get a notification for that. All right, let's do this then. So we're going to import. Let's do this. See, can we get hashtag Sir Fitzy for the win? Hashtag Sir Fitzy for the win. And let's just wait for this to update. Look at that. 134. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't get that before, mate. I'm not sure. Don't know why that didn't come through. There's 138. Oh, there's 138, sorry. Not 134. There's 138 live right now. And also, I can tell you, I'm just looking, that we have... bear with me a second, because that's not right. We should be awaiting teams for some people, I think. We need to check. I'll check that out. My CRM's not showing up properly at the moment. I thought we were awaiting teams. I thought there's like 9 more that we were waiting for, but I can't see anything in awaiting teams at the moment. Maybe that's just playing up on the CRM. But I'm sure that we have about another 10 on their way. I think we'll be at 150. Well, and I know we're going to be at 150 before the weekend. I'm literally just waiting right now. I am literally just waiting to be able to deposit more money into Ronan. Okay, Fitzy's just updated it all. But I don't believe we have enough teams at the moment. There should be. Let's have a look. Let's have a look on the website. We'll get caught up with everything, guys. Let's have a look. We'll look at new scholars on here. Let's have a look and see. So up to 148 on here, but a lot of this is a non, so I can't tell right now. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, all right. Okay, cool. All right, maybe we are right. Maybe it's done. There's 151 on the CRM. All right. I mean, I will double check this, but maybe it's all up to date. Maybe we're done. Maybe we're good. Maybe like Fitzy's just gone in, smashed it all out this morning. I didn't even realize, and now we're all. Oh yeah, look, 151 scholars. Ah, but I can see the one. Ah, yes. No, I get it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The only thing I'm not sure at the moment, which I'll have to have a look at, is in potential sponsors, it said a waiting team. There are definitely still some sponsors that are waiting for a team. There's definitely, I do believe, because if I look in scholars, we've only got up to 141, right? But I know that there should be more. We'll sort it out anyway. We'll sort it out. So, is it advisable we still keep revoke scholars? Maybe we should remove them from the list too. Well, then the accounts are never going to be used again. But yeah, they can be removed. We can remove them from here. That can happen. We can take them out of here, or we can leave them on. I don't mind. I'm not bothered about leaving them on at the moment. I'm kind of don't want to put too much admin to it. 137 live. Next 10 are waiting teams. The next 3 or 4 are waiting sponsors. Okay, cool. We'll get all that sorted out. Yeah, but basically, I think that once I can deposit more money. Because at the moment, the only problem right now is I just can't physically get the money in. All right, so like I'm on here, I click on deposit, I go to payment. Now, what I could do, actually, maybe there's a workaround here, right? No, AXS is currently unavailable. SLP, okay, so literally everything's unavailable on this network. So maybe what I could do, a different way to do this right now is a workaround. And I have a workaround as well, Cody, but the workaround maybe is going to cost me more. And it's about being efficient, remember? So I could buy AXS on Binance. I could send that to Ronan and then I can convert that to Ether. And I wouldn't buy SLP because it's pointless. I buy AXS, so it's a single. So maybe what I can do is go onto Binance, buy my AXS on Binance, and then I can send that to Ronan and I can use the Ronan chain to do the... I can use Katana to do it. But then I'm going to be paying fees, right? I'm going to be paying fees. So I don't necessarily know if I want to do that or not. But what I could do, I could put that money currently into AXS, but then AXS, the price of AXS, do I think it's going to go up? See, I could put it in and stake it for now whilst I'm holding and whilst I'm waiting. I got to figure out what's best to do, the best way to do it. Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I mean, we'll see, Ben. I think it's, yeah, maybe we'll like hang him up with a noose. To be fair, I think we've only got 2. We've had, out of 150 scholars, only 2 have broken the rules. And only 2 have been removed, which I think is really good. And we've got such good systems in place now. We have such good systems in place. So, yeah, I think that's what we need to look at as we move forward. And we'll get there with this. We'll get there. But we just need to look at onboarding process and how that works. So these players literally just come on today and yesterday, so we can't even judge or look at them at the moment. But we have 138 scholars live right now with teams. These numbers obviously aren't going to be accurate at the moment because of all of the new scholars, so we need to give it a bit of time. But we're still looking on average of at about 186 average SLP. 186 average SLP. I think that's fantastic. We are still generating right now, and this is without all of the new people that have come on board. And have a look. Look at how many new people we brought on board. We was at 127, so literally everything here. So to 138, that's 10. 10 new scholars in the system as of today and yesterday. So I'm expecting that to go up by a factor of 10 scholars. But even so, we're averaging 25,000 SLP a day. Okay, so 25,000 SLP per day. So then all we need to do is do 25,000, all right? 15 days, because it's on average of 15 days, means 375,000 SLP every payday. 375,000 SLP every payday. Or 750,000 SLP a month. 750,000 SLP a month right now. I'm telling you, by the end of November, we will hit 1 million SLP a month. We will be doing 1 million SLP a month. Could you imagine if SLP went to $1? It's $1 million a month. $1 million a month. Could you imagine? It's insane. Imagine if SLP went to 50 cents. That's $500,000 a month. Imagine if SLP got to just 25 cents. That's $250,000 a month we're paying out. $250,000 a month we are paying out from a company less than 4 months old. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. And it's just going to get more. It's just going to get bigger. Because we're just like, we're not taking profits, we're just compounding. At the moment, everything we get, we're using to buy more scholars. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. Hey, Steve, what bank in the UK did I use to purchase in Ramp? So right now I am using Monzo. But you can also, I was using NatWest before, but I'm now using Monzo. Keep it before profits as its main motto. I love it. It's crazy, right? We'll get there. We'll get there. Everyone's doing incredibly well at the moment. Incredibly well. So here's what we're going to do moving forward, okay? Here's what we're going to do moving forward. I need to be realistic. And I need to set expectations. And the last 2 paydays, and the last one's unfair because I wasn't well, but we do still need to be realistic. It takes approximately 5 minutes to pay 1 scholar. Okay? It can be done in 3 minutes, but there is an element of speed that removes quality. And so even though it can be done in 3 minutes, that means that you're not necessarily going to be doing the checks and the due diligence of the account numbers and the addresses to make sure that accuracy is 100%. Because here's the thing for me. When I was looking to hire somebody to do payroll, the most important thing for me, the number one most important thing was obviously trust. I have to trust somebody because we're giving them access to hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of assets. Now, with that trust, I also, the second most absolute important integral thing to this journey is that the person must have 100% accuracy. We have no room for mistakes. I made 2 mistakes when I did the payroll over the weekend, and it cost me £600. To give you an idea of that in pesos, it cost me 40,000 pesos. I made 2 20,000 peso mistakes on payday. And I lost 40,000 pesos. If you imagine the price of SLP when it pumped, it was actually 80,000 pesos because it went up 100%. So if you accounted that, it would, and I did cash out at the top, I basically lost 80,000 pesos if you want to look at it worst case scenario. But we can just say, for the argument's sake, 40,000 pesos is what I lost. So I can't afford those mistakes. So the person that does payroll has to have 100% accuracy so we don't have those mistakes. Because those were mistakes. I caught those mistakes quite early. Had I not have caught those mistakes, they could have ended up costing multiple thousands. And it's a lesson. You just have to experience it, you have to learn by it, and you have to move on. It's human error. And it wasn't helped by the fact that I wasn't well. Why did it happen, Russell? That's a really good question. And I'll explain it now very quickly. So in our database, we have all of the personal addresses of the scholars and the sponsors. And some sponsors have sponsored multiple scholars. Yet they get paid out to the same address. So as an example, one of our angel investors has 50 scholars. Okay, and so that is 50 sponsor payments that go into the same wallet. And what happened, and we don't know how it happened, but in the database, the numbers had been altered. And I know what happened, I just don't know how it happened. So what happened, and I'll give you an example. Have you ever used Excel and a spreadsheet? Have you ever used Excel and you have a number, like the number 1, and then in the next column you have like the number 2, and then you drag it to copy like 50 columns, and it automatically updates the number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it kind of puts them into order. Do you know what I mean? Well, imagine having a wallet address, and the wallet address ends in 1, and then you've copied and pasted that wallet address 50 times, and the next wallet address has got a 2 on the end, and then a 3 on the end, and a 4 on the end. Well, that's effectively what happened. We didn't do that, but that's what happened. So in the database, it kind of sequentially numbered the Ronin wallets for the sponsor. And so because I had the flu and I wasn't feeling very well, I was grabbing from the CRM the address for the sponsor, pasting it in and pasting that amount that was owed. What happened though, the first wallet was okay. The second wallet, and I didn't clock it straight away, the address was wrong. This is that speed when you rush and you don't double check the addresses. And when you start doing hundreds of addresses and it all becomes a blur, it becomes slightly autonomous. And so that complacency in that autonomous caused the ability to be able to go click, 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 click. And in doing that, what happened is I sent the money to the right Ronin wallet, but then it had a 1 on the end. Then it was the right address with a 2 on the end, the right address with a 3 on the end. So effectively, it was the wrong wallet. Those wallets, I don't even think exist, but the money was still sent because that's the beauty and the pain of blockchain. It's immutable. Once it's sent, it's sent. So that money's lost. And look, we're working on better processes, but at the moment, it's the best that we have. We have to make sure we're secure. We have to make sure that we're careful. We have to make sure everything's done properly. So that's just what it is. Angelica says, I can't reach 100 SLP. Please help me. Please help me. I think I need to surrender the Axie and my husband will focus on the game. If you need to surrender the Axie, surrender the Axie. I mean, look, Angelica, here's the thing. I saw your message, right? And I'll address this right now. I saw your message. You was like, I can't reach 100 SLP. So you were like, I've got to give my Axie up. So if you want to give your Axie up, give your Axie up. There's many people that would like your Axie. And it's not a bad team. Because you don't have the coordinator, you're saying I can't do as well as my husband's team. But here's the thing. There's so many people that would be grateful to have Axie, even if they were chops. I've never, ever, ever given out a chop. So you've still got good Axie. I've never at any point said I was going to remove somebody. So if you want to remove yourself, then that's fine. I'm not going to remove you. If you want to surrender your Axie, surrender them. I'm not going to get involved in the drama and the back and forth because we will help you get to 100 SLP. But if you're saying I'm going to have to surrender, then surrender. Because there are a lot of other people that will be grateful for that team. If you would rather stay, carry on, have Coach Cody help you, and us figure out a way, then we will figure out a way. I'm not removing anybody. I know you're a good person. I know you're a hard worker. I will do what I can with the team to make sure that you get above 100 SLP. But for you to feel ashamed and that you need to give up your Axie and that you feel bad, like, that's on you. You have to take ownership of that. That's your feelings. At no point have I said I'm going to remove anybody. I've always said that if you fail to meet the 100 quota, we will work with you. If it comes down to the fact that it's a team, we'll change the team. If it comes down to the fact it's the way you're playing the team, because here's the thing, there are people with your exact same team who are doing over 100. Therefore, I don't believe it's your team. I believe it's you. And that's okay. It's okay. If you're struggling, there's nothing wrong with struggling. Everybody struggles at some point. It's about being willing and able to learn and accept that you maybe need help from people. Maybe you need help from Cody. Maybe you need help from the scholar trainers. Maybe it's that you don't have time. Maybe you're busy. Maybe life's getting in the way. Maybe you haven't got, like, whatever it is. And I'm not just using you as an example. I'm saying in general here, because there are multiple people that say, oh, can I do this? Can I change this? Can I change that? Here's the thing. When the new update comes out, it's very possible. It's very possible when the new update comes out, everybody could get wrecked. The coordinator may be worthless. It might be that nobody can get more than 50 SLP per day with the coordinator. It's possible. We don't know what's going to happen. But we're not going to let that affect us. We're not going to let that define us. We'll find a way because we don't quit. We don't give up. We don't lose. We just keep trying and keep trying. If it doesn't work, we keep trying and we keep trying. Because the only way you lose is if you stop trying. So, Angelica, and to everybody else, if you're willing to try, then we're willing to help. We're not a company that's going to remove you because you can't hit your quota. People before profits. Like, we have to live this message. Okay, we will help. Don't worry, please. The worst thing you can do is worry. The worst thing you can do is stress. Because that's just going to perpetually make you more and more stressed. Don't worry, just relax. Just relax. We'll figure it out. Coach Cody is already aware of everybody who's struggling. Coach Cody will reach out to everybody who's struggling before they reach out to him. Like, Coach Cody knows. He's like a hawk. He's watching everything. Don't worry. Don't worry. We will figure it out. We'll figure it out. So, and I see you said that you're ashamed. Why? Why are you ashamed? All right, let's deal with this right now. Why are you ashamed? I bought this Axie and it's so expensive and you can't even reach the quota. Okay. Why do you feel like you can't reach the quota? And I don't even know, by the way. Let's have a look. I don't even know. I don't really check. I don't even have time. I don't even know who half the people in the community are. And it's sad because I want to. But I can't. I don't physically have the hours in the day to do the sponsorships and the systems and the payments and everything else. It's too much. Even the streaming we've had to cut down to twice a week. And I don't even get to play games or anything anymore. Let's have a look. Let's figure this out. Look, I love this because this is what this is about. I don't even know what you're talking about. You're 125 average. So you're worried that you're under 100. Okay, so yesterday maybe you got 80. And then, all right, nothing. You haven't got anything today, but let's have a look. Let's have a look. Because like the last 4 days, right? 135, 135, 144, 183, 135. 0, okay, yep. But I don't count these zeros. I mean, because you can technically have 2 days off a week. Like, okay. I mean, I'm looking. Okay, so you're 930. Okay. I see what's happened. So, you've been on a bit of a losing streak, haven't you? Have you? Oh, battle history. I can't even see because it's all disabled at the moment. So, it looks like you've been on a bit of a losing streak and it's got you stressed. And the stress has put you on a bigger losing streak. And you've got frustrated. And the frustration and the stress has put you on a bigger losing streak, which has caused you to be stressed. And that stress has made you frustrated. And that frustration has caused you to go on a losing streak. And so the losing streak has caused you to be stressed. And the stress has caused you to be frustrated. And the frustration has caused you to be on a losing streak. Can you see how you're caught in this loop? Can you see how you're going around in circles? Stop stressing. Just stop stressing. Just don't stress. I'm not stressed. Cody's not stressed. Fitzy, are you stressed? I'm not. No. Is anybody in the chat stressed? Is anybody else stressed in the chat? I'm not stressed. Miracle, there's no excuse for being late. You're banned. Is anybody stressed? Yeah, you have to just laugh. Remember, right, now, this is what I will say to you, Angelica. Are you following the core values? Are you valuing the core values? Because what is core value number 2? Let's have a look. Let's bring them up. What are our core values? What is core value number 2? How you show up in the challenges is just as important as when things are good. Positive emotions are connected with being content with your past, being happy in the present, and having hope for the future. So, Angelica, I love this because this is a great lesson for everybody watching right now. Your past, your present, and your future. The past is done. It's the past. You can't change it. There is no point worrying about it. It's done. The present is up to you. You choose what you do in this moment. The future's not written yet. There's no point worrying about something that has not happened. So we can't deal with the past and we can't deal with the future. The only thing we have control of is the present. So in this present moment, right now, you have a choice. You have a choice right now to be stressed or not to be stressed. You have a choice. What do you choose? And if you're dealing with stress, then the best thing I can recommend to help you is meditation, breathing, just to sit here. We'll do it together. I'll do it with you right now. Ready? Just sit in a chair comfortably. Just sit down. Close your eyes. Just take a deep breath. Just a nice, slow, deep breath. Do it again. Make it loud enough that you can hear it. The breath should be loud enough. It should be like... Focus, because when you make a forced breath in and out, you're forced to focus on that breath. And it relaxes you. It's why a lot of people smoke. It's not the smoking, it's the breathing. I'm not saying you should smoke, but I'm saying that it's the breathing. If you just control your breath, that's it. That will remove stress. The other thing to focus on is gratitude. What can you be grateful for right now? Angelica, please tell me, what can you be grateful? What are things in life that you can be grateful for? And let's start with the basics. You have a partner who, I assume and I hope, loves you. You have a roof over your head. You have a beautiful, beautiful baby. Okay? I hope and I feel like you are in good health. I believe you have access to running water. I mean, I know you have access to the internet. I'm going to assume you have access to warm food. What things can you be grateful for right now? Because as you're breathing, I'm so grateful for this incredible community. I'm so grateful for this safe environment. I'm so grateful for high-speed internet. I'm so grateful for whatever it is. Whatever it is. I'm so grateful that Roberta bought me this beautiful bowl of food. Look at this. Look at this. I'm so grateful for that. It looks amazing. Look at that. So grateful. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. You know, what channels in the Discord can you go into to feel positive? Because, Angelica, if you can start to change this mindset, if you can start to not feel frustrated, if you can change that. You lost a game, so what? You lose a game, shit happens. You lost some MMR, so what? Shit happens. MMR goes up and down. That's it. I think talking to Shayla is a very, very good idea. That's what she's there for. So there's always things to be grateful for. And I want you to understand this, chat. This is like, and also, can we give some love, please, to, like, can we give some love, please, to Angelica in the chat? Because it takes real courage to even admit something like this on a live stream. And so Angelica is braving her weakness in front of everybody, her challenges and her struggles, so that everybody else has an ability to learn right now. And I love you for that. I absolutely do. And I honor you for that, because your ability right now to show your weakness gives everybody else a learning opportunity. So you have the opportunity. You have the choice right now. You could surrender your Axie, and I will give them to another scholar if that's what you want. But under no point in time have I ever said you need to do that. That's your choice. I will do what I said from day one. People before profits. I will do everything I can to support you, to give you what you need. Whether that's from a mindset point of view, whether that's from the team, regardless. I don't believe right now your Axie are the problem. In fact, I wouldn't want to change your Axie because I want you to prove to yourself that you can do it with them. I think you would learn so much more. And I know you can do it because you've done it before. I only have to look at where you was and what you were doing. You're just... Look, all that's happening right now, I can see what's happening. You've been staring at the SLP chart too much. You're just copying SLP. That's all you're doing. Maybe you need to look at a different chart. Maybe you should put a picture of the Ethereum chart over your bed or the AXS chart over your bed. Maybe you need to stare at those charts. Maybe you need to remember core value number 3. Yeah, which is about having fun. This is a game at the end of the day. And I know that for many of you it's more than a game. I know that for many of you this is your earnings, your income. I'm not removing a scholar. Unless you cheat, unless you multi-account, that's the only way. Or unless you're violent or abusive or disrespectful to other members of the community. Okay, if you're violent or disrespectful or rude, or if you break the core values in that respect. I don't mean because you've broken core value number 2, because you're not being positive. I'm not going to remove you from the scholarship for that. That's ridiculous. But core value number 1, be respectful. Yes. I think you need to just take a step back and just take a breath. Because this is not a problem that can't be solved. In fact, it's not even a problem, it's a challenge. I think you're going to be fine. And I would really love it if you would try. But I also appreciate your decision is your decision. It's yours to make. Try not to compare yourself to your partner's Axie. Because if you look at what you're doing and you look at what your partner's doing, you're going to feel bad. But that's not fair because you have 2 different quality Axie. Only judge yourself by yourself. If you want to be better than something, be better than yourself yesterday. That's it. No one else. Nothing else. Don't compare to any other scholar. Don't compare to any other team. Don't compare to anything other than how you was yesterday. That's it. All right? You got 80 SLP yesterday. Great. Try and get 81 SLP today. That's it. And then tomorrow, try and get 82 SLP. And that's it. Because when you start removing the stress and the frustration, and when you start to enjoy it, it will start to get easier. We'll get there. I hope that helps, by the way, everybody. I know we just focused that on Angelica, but I want you to understand that this is, just don't be ashamed. Please don't even say that anymore, because if you speak your words, they'll become your reality. If you say, I'm bad, I'm terrible, I'm shit, then you'll be those things. I'm having a bad day is fine. We all have bad days. I'm having a bad week is fine. We all have weeks. But I don't want to see you give up because of that. All right? I don't want to see you give up. You're part of the family. All right? And family look out for each other. And that's what we're doing here. All right? This is where you're testing me right now. And I love that. I love that because if I was in this for the money, then I would be like, you're not performing, you're out. But that's not what we're doing here. That's not what we're about. Yeah? People before profits. You are people. All right? Fuck profits. They'll come later. I don't care. Look after the people. The people will look after you. I'm looking after you right now. I am doing everything I said I would do. All right? I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to be ashamed. I don't want you to feel bad. You're just having a bit of a bad run. And to be fair, 4 days. It's just 4 days. You've been above target for everything else. You're just having a bad run for the last 4 days. It's fine. Don't worry. Please don't worry. If it makes you feel better, I'll start playing again. And then you can see how really bad a player can be. You think you're having troubles? Wait till I start playing. I think right now it's just your elo. I think your elo is low, and I think your elo is low because you're stressed. And I think that is why you're struggling to get the SLP. It's all good. It's all good. We'll get you there. How to fix an in-game bug where your crits only activate or happen on disguise. Tail slap and veggie bite. I have no idea. We'll have to have a look at that one. UN family is amazing as always. That's what we're building here, right? Michael says that's what Jeff's aiming for. Not just the money, but the bond created by the game. This is it. Angelica, you've been here since day one. You know, you're a bigger part of this community as I am. You've been here since the start. Like, there's no way I'm letting you go. Not unless you want to. I mean, you want to, it's your choice. I'm not going to stop you going. But I'm not going to make you go. No, not at all. I challenge you to think differently. Yeah, I'm glad you're all here too. Yeah, this is such a great lesson. We all have bad days. And don't just look at Angelica and go, oh, okay, she's having a bad day. You're all going to have a bad day. You're all going to have a losing streak. I guarantee it. It's going to happen. You will. The same as the crypto markets will crash. Everything. Right. Here's what I know. We live in a world of duality. For every up, there's a down. For every left, there's a right. For every in, there's an out. For every positive, there's a negative. The world of duality. For every God, there's a devil. Right? Whatever you look at, whatever your belief system, there's an opposite for everything. So what goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. Balance. Don't worry. Now, don't cry now because you set me off. But we're good. I think we're good. I think we have nothing to worry about here. We'll sort it out. Don't worry. If anyone's in trouble, it's Coach Cody. I'm joking. Of course it's not. But I'm sure he'll reach out to you. Okay? We'll get a coach for Coach Cody so that he can coach you. It's fine. I know Coach is busy at the moment. But look, we're just having fun, all right? It's a game. All right? I know that it means so much to so many of you. And I get that. But yeah, we're good. Just don't worry. Just don't stress. Don't worry. Figure it all out. It'll be fine. It will be absolutely fine. I don't think there is anybody, like these people don't count at the moment because they've just started. Don't count. So, all right. Octo 26 is struggling a little bit at the moment. And Xiao is struggling a little bit at the moment. But that's it. 2 people. And Sakura, I think, as well. The rest of these are... oh, no. And hold on. Oh, that's revoked. Okay. So this... we can actually remove this one. Hold on. This was... one second. What did I just do there? I just lost it. How do I delete? Oh, there. There we go. That one can go. So out of this... oh, yeah, that one account locked. All right, cool. Yeah, so they're the 2 accounts that have been removed. Cool. All right. So, yeah, looking at this. Doesn't count. We've got Octo 26, which we'll check. We've got Sakura, which we'll check. And we've got Xiao 12, which we'll check. Apart from that, everybody else is above 100. That is 3 people out of 150 almost. Out of 138 people, 3 people are struggling. Xiao already had 150 today, so that doesn't count. Obviously, ignore what I just said. Cody's already on it, see? Cody is already on it. He knows. He looks at this. He's like, this is his job. This is Cody's full-time job now, is to make sure you're all above 100 SLP. All right? He's on it. Don't worry. He'll look after you. Yeah. Sakura's under the care of the scholarship helpers. See? And I don't even know what's going on, but I trust it because here's the thing. I trust Fitzy. Fitzy trusts Cody. Cody trusts the scholarship trainers. We all work together. The mods, the trainers, the coaches, the admin, the leadership team, the core team. We all work together. We all focus on what we focus on. My job is just to sit here, try and look pretty, and go and get sponsorships. That's my job. To bring the money in. Yeah, to make sure the systems are working. Fitzy makes sure that everything's okay. Fitzy makes sure the community's good. He makes sure that the admin and the data and the CRM and everything's working. He looks after all of the problems and challenges. Fitzy gives me space so that I can find sponsors without worrying. Fitzy makes sure that the day-to-day everything runs. All right? I don't worry about Fitzy doing his job because I know he's great at it. He's been here since day one. He's built most of this. All right? I don't care. Cody is responsible for the coaching, for all of the scholars, for all of the trainers, for all of the training material, and eventually for the esports team as well. That's Coach's responsibility. I don't worry about the scholar trainers. I don't even know who the scholar trainers are. I don't need to. Because I'm focusing on what I need to do. And I know that Cody's taking care of that. And I know he's looking after them. And I know if Cody has a problem, he'll talk to Fitzy and they'll figure it out between them. And I know if they can't, they'll come to me and we'll figure it out between us. We've got this chain of command. We've got this hierarchy because this is going to be massive. This is going to be so big, what we're building right now. You're at the start of a journey that's incredible. When we start having thousands of scholars, just wait. It's going to be insane. But we're fine. Everyone's good. Like, I'm not worried about anything. I'm worried about Miracle. But apart from that, I'm not worried about anything. And I'm worried about SLP. But apart from Miracle and SLP, I'm not worried about anything. And I'm worried about the puppy, obviously. But apart from Miracle, SLP, and the puppy, I am not worried about anything. I'm not worried. I'm playing. I'm joking. It's fine. I'm not worried. I know everything could be fixed, right? The dog's going to the vets. Miracle will get banned and SLP will go up. We're good. Everything's good. Everything will balance. Just don't worry. Don't stress. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I have to go. All right? I'm on my way to the vets. So thank you all so much for being here today. I hope this has been valuable. It's been very different. But yeah, honestly, no, we love Miracle. We do. But I need to head off now. We will be back on Thursday. I'm going to play some Dota on Thursday, okay? I haven't done it for a while. I want a bit of downtime as well. I want to relax. So we'll play Dota on Thursday. And then what we'll do is next Monday, we'll play some Axie. All right, I'll play some Axie next Monday. All right? So that's what we'll do. So Thursday, Dota. And then next Monday, we'll play Axie. And honestly, if you're a scholar at the moment, don't worry about it. If you're on a losing streak, don't worry about it. Shit happens. At the end of the day, we're all here together and that's all that matters. And we'll figure everything else out. Have an amazing day. Take care, everyone. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.